Welcome to our presentation on mortgages and charges. Today, we will delve into the intricacies of company law as it pertains to mortgages and charges. Our discussion will cover 6 key areas: an introduction to company law, the borrowing power of a company, registration of mortgages and charges, types of mortgages and charges, legal implications, and a conclusion. Let's begin with an introduction to company law, which forms the foundation for understanding mortgages and charges within a corporate context. Overview of company law. Definition of company law. Company law refers to the body of laws that govern the rights, relations, and conduct of individuals within, and associated with, companies. It encompasses various regulations and guidelines concerning the formation, operation, and dissolution of corporations. Importance of company law. Company law is crucial as it provides a legal framework for businesses, ensuring transparency, accountability, and fairness. By establishing rules for transactions and corporate governance, it protects the interests of stakeholders and promotes economic stability. Key legal concepts. Key concepts in company law include limited liability, separate legal entity, corporate personality, and governance structures. Understanding these principles is essential for comprehending how companies operate and are held accountable. Relevance to mortgages and charges. Impact on corporate financing. Mortgages and charges play a significant role in corporate financing, enabling companies to raise funds secured against assets. This practice helps companies acquire necessary capital while managing financial risk. Legal framework overview. The legal framework governing mortgages and charges incorporates statutory provisions and case law, which outline the rights and obligations of parties involved, ensuring a structured approach to debt security. Next, we will explore the borrowing power of a company, which is determined by its capacity to incur debt and obtain loans based on various factors. Borrowing power is influenced by a company's credit rating, asset values, and market conditions. Legal limitations also play a role, as companies must adhere to regulations to avoid legal ramifications. Definition and scope. Borrowing power refers to a company's ability to incur debt and obtain loans. This capacity is determined by the company's articles of association, financial strength, and operational needs, impacting its growth trajectory. Legal limitations. Legal limitations on borrowing power can arise from corporate bylaws or external regulations. Companies must adhere to these restrictions to avoid breaches that could lead to legal ramifications. Factors influencing borrowing power. Key factors influencing borrowing power include the company's credit rating, cash flow stability, asset values, and overall market conditions. These elements contribute to lenders' risk assessments. Companies can enhance their borrowing power through corporate resolutions and shareholder approval, ensuring transparency and adherence to governance standards. Corporate resolutions. Companies can enhance their borrowing power through corporate resolutions that authorize additional borrowing. This formal approval demonstrates due diligence and adherence to governance standards. Shareholder approval requirements. In many jurisdictions, significant borrowing may require shareholder approval, aligning organizational interests and ensuring transparency regarding debt commitments. Now, let's discuss the registration of mortgages and charges, which is crucial for legal protection and prioritization of claims. Registration provides legal protection for creditors, prioritizes claims, and solidifies the creation of security interests, enhancing recovery rates for creditors. Legal protection for creditors. Registration of mortgages and charges provides legal protection for creditors by establishing priority over claims in the event of default. This process ensures fair treatment among lenders. Priority of claims. The registered status of a mortgage or charge dictates the priority of claims against a company's assets. This prioritization plays a vital role in insolvency proceedings, affecting recovery rates for creditors. Creation of security interests. Proper registration solidifies the creation of security interests, ensuring that creditors have enforceable rights over specific company assets, thereby enhancing their security positions. The registration process involves documentation requirements, designated authorities, and adherence to timelines to avoid penalties and heightened risks for creditors. Documentation requirements. The documentation required for registration typically includes details such as the mortgage or charge agreement, relevant corporate resolutions, and identification of secured assets. Registration authorities. Registration is generally handled by designated authorities, such as a company's registry, tasked with maintaining public records of security interests, ensuring compliance and transparency. Timelines and penalties. Timelines for registration can vary, but prompt filing is essential to avoid penalties. Delays in registration may result in loss of priority or heightened risks for creditors. We will now examine the different types of mortgages and charges, starting with fixed mortgages. Fixed mortgages. Characteristics of fixed mortgages. Fixed mortgages involve a specific asset being pledged as security for a loan, providing lenders with certainty over their collateral. These agreements are legally binding and detailed in nature. Advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of fixed mortgages include lower interest rates and higher lender confidence. However, they can limit a company's financial flexibility by restricting asset utilization. Floating charges. Overview of floating charges. A floating charge gives a lender a security interest over a pool of assets rather than specific ones, allowing the company to operate freely until a default occurs, at which point it crystallizes into a fixed charge. Practical applications. Floating charges are commonly used by companies for working capital as they provide flexibility. They are particularly beneficial for businesses with fluctuating asset values or inventory. Next, we will explore the legal implications of mortgages and charges, focusing on the rights of mortgages and charge holders. Rights of mortgages and charge holders. Rights upon default. Upon default, mortgages and charge holders possess specific rights, including the ability to enforce security interests, seize collateral, and initiate proceedings to recover owed amounts. Enforcement of security interests. Enforcement procedures for mortgages and charges vary by jurisdiction but typically involve legal actions to reclaim secured assets, ensuring that lenders can mitigate financial losses. Consequences of non-compliance. Legal remedies for breaches. Non-compliance with mortgage or charge terms can result in legal remedies for lenders, including potential damages or injunctions to compel compliance. Safeguarding creditor interests. Impact on companies' financial health. Breaches and non-compliance can adversely affect a company's financial health, leading to diminished creditworthiness and increased difficulty in securing future funding. In conclusion, understanding mortgages and charges is vital for corporate governance and financial performance. Let's summarize the key points discussed. Summary of key points. Importance of understanding mortgages. Understanding mortgages and charges is essential for corporate management, as they significantly influence funding strategies, risk management, and overall financial performance. Role in corporate governance. Mortgages and charges also play a critical role in corporate governance, ensuring that companies operate within legal frameworks while meeting stakeholder expectations. As the legal landscape evolves, companies must stay informed and regularly review their borrowing strategies to optimize the use of mortgages and charges for sustainable growth. Evolving legal landscape. As financial markets evolve, so too may the legal landscape surrounding mortgages and charges. Companies must stay informed of legislative changes to navigate these complexities effectively. Recommendations for corporations. Corporations should regularly review their borrowing strategies, ensure compliance with legal requirements, and engage legal expertise to optimize their use of mortgages and charges for sustainable growth. Thank you for your attention. We hope this presentation has provided valuable insights into mortgages and charges within the realm of company law. For any further query, please comment below.